can't fall, but we ain't fall. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar. We can't fall, but we ain't fall. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar. We can't fall, but we ain't fall. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar. Can't fall, but we ain't fall. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar.
Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Raising the Bar with A.D. Robinson, and I'm your host, A.D. Robinson, of course. Man, it's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks, to be exact. I wanted to do an episode last week, but man, there was just so much going on. So many emotions, I tell you. I didn't even know what to say. I'm just sitting here reading comments and messages on Facebook and reading all your thoughts on Instagram and social medias. And it was just so many emotions here that I really didn't know what to say. And because of, if y'all may not know, if you've been living on the rock for the past 2 or 3 weeks, there was a young man by the name of George Floyd who was murdered by a white police officer by him having this knee on his neck for, I think, 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And this was actually the straw that broke the camel's back. Before that, we had Ahmaud Arbery, who was shot for just jogging, you know. So this one right here was the straw that broke the camel back. And now we have this huge movement going on. Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. We have a lot going on in all 50 states in this country, and also some countries around the world have been standing up for us. And, you know, it's a good look. So it's just been so many emotions, so much to say, so many thoughts, a lot that's been happening. And I just want to take the time to talk about which is police officers. I want to talk about cops and, you know, our perspectives of cops. Our perspectives of cops are based on our experiences with them. You know, coming up in a community that I came up in Scottsdale, Georgia, we didn't have so many good interactions with police officers. And I believe these interactions is what shape our identity, not identity, but our perspective of who cops are and what they're capable of doing. But I also believe that cops also have perspectives of people in certain areas. And I believe that a lot of people and a lot of cops probably have motivated each other in the sense of fear that will feed these perspectives on who Black people are in these particular areas. But I can't really speak on a cop perspective. I can only speak on my perspectives and my experiences of my interaction with cops. I had 2 experiences. I had more experiences with cops, but I had 2 experiences that changed the cops. She keeps saying police officer, man. Anyway, 2 experiences with cops that changed the course of my life. I had more interactions with police officers, but these 2 actually changed the course of my life. The first interaction was back when I was 19, back in 2006. I was coming from a friend of mine house. Shout out JB, that's my homie. I was coming from a friend of mine house late that night. I think it wasn't that late. I think it was like 9 something. And it was dark around this period. It was dark. It's probably like 9 or 10. It was dark. And I was cutting through some apartments because there was a hole in the gate that connected my apartments to these apartments. So I was walking through the apartments and I cut through this gate, and there stood an officer talking to a lady. And I believe the lady was, I don't want to make any accusations, but I believe she was maybe Ethiopia, Somalian. The community I stayed in was pretty diverse, so it wasn't, you can tell that she wasn't like from here. So I'm cutting through the gate and I saw this lady pointing at me. Now, remind you, I am a kid at this point, little dreads and probably high because I was smoking. But this lady pointed at me. So I looked as suspicious as people might think. So she pointed at me to the police officer. And honestly, I pretended like I didn't see him. And police officer approached me and said, sir, I need you to put your hands on the car. Now, at this point, I was scared. I don't know what this guy was. I don't know what they were. I don't even know what I was doing. Like, I don't know why she pointed at me. I don't know why he asked me to put my hands on the car. So I ran. That wasn't the main reason why I ran. If you want to find out really why I ran, just inbox me. I'll tell you if I trust you. But I ran. So I ran further enough to do what I had to do. And I met the officer back around my complex. And he pulled out a gun. He drew. He said, get on the ground. So I got on the ground. Now, it reminds you, this officer, I think he was Hispanic. So I got on the ground. And he put me in cuffs and he hit me in the back of the head. You effing punk. You made me run. Then he hit me again. Why you running from me? Blah, blah, blah. He just going and just pounding me in the back of my head. And, at this point I was livid. I was mad. So I told him to take the cuffs off. Give me my one. Let's fight. I'm ready to fight a cop at this point. Now I'm in cuffs. And then after I said all this, I'm getting rowdy. He getting rowdy. And I'm in cuffs on the ground. He pulled out the pepper spray and sprayed me in my face while in cuffs. And I never got that. Why did he feel that he had the audacity to hit me while I was in cuffs? Because I made him run? And why did he feel the need to pepper spray me too? I don't understand. How was that resisting an officer if I'm in cuffs? So that right there somewhat shaped my perspectives of cops or police officers in a negative sense. So I know that there are some cops out there who just don't care, who feel intimidated and quite arrogant that they may feel like they are above us or a little better than us, if you are this complexion. But that's not the only experience that I had or only interaction that I had with a police officer. In that point in my life, I was into street activities, as you may call it. And some of the things I thought to myself, maybe I deserved it because some of the things I did. Maybe this was karma coming back to kick me in the butt. So that was my opportunity to really kind of change my life in a new direction. But the second time I had an interaction with a cop was back in 2012. Man, at this point I was broke. I had no money. I had my own place though. That counts for something, but I had no money. I was dating my girlfriend, now wife, at the time. And I was just struggling. I just lost my job and I just lost my car. Well, I gave my car up, but I just lost my job. It took me like a year to save up money on an unemployment check to buy a car. And I was just no means to it, like nothing. And I just wanted to really change my life. I decided to enroll back in school, and this is in 2012, and just started to read more books. At that point, what started me off was the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the Robert Kiyosaki book. And it's a really good book. I recommend you to read it if you want to think like a business owner. I recommend you to read that. But in this point, I was just really in a groove of just changing my life around. I just needed to do something different. So I bought this car with my unemployment checks. I got it from the junkyard. Pretty decent car, Mazda 626. It was an older car, but I didn't have any insurance. So I really couldn't drive anywhere. And it was this one particular day, man, I was so hungry. I had no food in the house. I was really hungry. And my wife, she said, hey, my girlfriend at the time, she was like, hey, you can come over here and eat. There's food here. I was like, man, I can't really get over it. I didn't want to tell her to pick me up because, man pride, of course. So I just said, I'm gonna just take this car and just hopefully I don't get pulled over, because when you get pulled over black in a black community with no insurance, it's not a good look. So I made it there. I ate, spent a little time with my girlfriend. We kicked it, watched TV. And about around 10, 11, it was time to go. So I left, and she this time lived in Lithonia. So I left. I turned right on Stone Mountain Redan, and I just saw blue lights flashing. And I said, man, I'm black. It's nighttime. No insurance. Nothing. And I just knew that either I was going to have my car repossessed, which I haven't had a car in a year. It took me a whole year to save up to buy this car on an unemployment check. So I knew I was going to either have this car possessed or repossessed or somehow go to jail. I don't know what was going to happen that night. I just didn't want to run in or have a run in with the police officer that night. So this officer got out of the car, and I guess I let my back window down. And then he asked me, the first thing he asked me, he said, "Your middle name is Demon?" Really, it's Demon. So in my mind, I'm thinking, man, I'm really about to go to jail. He already demonized me. And I said, "No, sir, it's Demon." He said, "Oh, okay." Then he had the flashlight, and I had the Robert Kiyosaki book sitting on the passenger seat. Rich Dad Poor Dad. And he looked at the book, and then he looked at my student ID badge on the rearview mirror. And he said, "You're in school?" And I said, "Yeah, I just got back in school." He said, "Oh, okay." And then he looked at the book. He said, "You read Robert Kiyosaki too?" And I said, "Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's my second book." He said, "Man," he said, "this guy's an awesome, he's an awesome author. I like him. You know what? This is the cop telling me this. He said, I may have a business opportunity for you." And I'm like, what? A business opportunity? Here it is in my mind. I'm thinking I'm about to go to jail. Car's about to be repossessed. I had no insurance. I said, "A business okay, cool." He said, "Well, let me get your number and I'll give you a call sometime during the week." I said, "Okay." And in my head, I'm thinking, so am I free to go? Then he said, yeah, I gave him my number. Then he said, "Okay, you're good to go." And then I left. And man, let me tell you, he called me that week. We met up. We had a few meetings. And man, we just became business partners. And now I've been knowing him since, what's that now? 8 years now from that one incident. Not only did he could have easily viewed me as a black man in the black area as a threat. He could have easily took me to jail. He could have easily repossessed my car, but he didn't. He offered me a business opportunity. And now we're friends to this day. And I asked him about a year ago, I said, "Did you know I didn't have any insurance?" He said, "Yeah, I knew." And that right there spoke for his character alone. And that right there told me why I'm friends with this guy. So what I want to do is I want to introduce you guys to this police officer, one of my good friends. We're actually going to do an interview, and I want you to hear what he have to say about what's going on today and just a perspective from a police officer. You got something to say, babe? Former police officer. He's now self-employed business owner, entrepreneur is what we're going for. Black capitalist, entrepreneur. So I want you guys to hear his perspective. All right, check this out. Man, I got a special guest here today. A good friend of mine, my homie. I mentioned I attested his character before on how we met. That's something that you don't know yet, bro. I actually told them how we met. And I attested his character. And this Mr. Deron Fulton, he's been with the Dekalb County Police Officer. Former police officer. I can't say he's a police officer now, but he's a former police officer. He's been with them for about roughly 10 years. And with everything going on, I just can't really give my own perspective when it comes down to a cop or a police officer. So I just wanted to get his perspective. Bro, what's up, man?
Hey, it's all good, man. Rise up, man.
Rise up. You know, the Falcons all day. Atlanta Falcons all day. Man, so I was texting you on, I think that was Saturday, when Chris Ann and we was actually riding downtown, man. I'm just looking at everything, looking at the people protesting, and I just seen like buildings boarded up, and just to get the feel of what's going on downtown. And I text you just to get your input because of your previous experience as a police officer. But then I thought, as I was texting, why don't we just let everybody else hear what your input is? First of all, I want to say what's up, and you got something you want to say first? You want to introduce yourself or something like that?
Yeah, man. Like Tom said, I'm Deron Fulton, wife Chelsea Fulton. I know nobody on this cast knows us, so been married 11 years, like Tony said, roughly 10 years, Dekalb County Police Department. That's south of the Dekalb area. Have 2 kids, reside in Covington. I was born and raised in Atlanta, and for the most part of my career, I lived within the county that I policed in for the most part.
That's what's up.
So about maybe close to 5 years ago, I resigned. No issues, anything like that. There was just a different chapter of my life, so I felt like it was just, time to move on.
Right.
Things going on, and I had other ambitions, so here we are now.
Entrepreneurs, man. Hey, honestly, that's what this show. I'm really catering to aspiring Black leaders, man. So rather entrepreneurship, social leaders, spiritual leaders, whatever, man. And we vibe because we got a light spirit, which is entrepreneurship. So that's pretty much how we met. But yeah, man, I gave them the whole story about how we met, which is funny. But yeah, about the current events, man. So what do you think about what's going on, man? What is your perspective with your background and all, man?
Honestly, man, you probably won't hear another officer say this, but I mean, well, I'm not an officer anymore, but if I was an officer, I had the same opinion, but
right,
I believe it's well overdue.
Right.
To be honest now, like they were saying that Martin Luther King said, riots is a language of the unheard.
Oh man.
I mean, they've been talking for I don't know how many years. I mean, you got so many examples of police brutality, not even just police brutality. I mean, it's just senseless hate crimes out there.
Right.
So, I mean, that's another issue in itself. And, you got, other people who just want to, put the blind eye to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they know what's going on. So, I feel the best way to get somebody to listen, I mean, you kind of got to get in them pockets,
That's true.
It's no different from being at work,
Right.
You tell, your supervisor, hey man, this isn't working for me. Oh yeah, we working, resolve the issue, we'll get it fixed for you, real soon.
Mm-hmm.
And you constantly telling them, and they're not listening. And so you take it upon yourself, you be like, oh, okay, I'm shut down. All right, I got something for them. So now, when it's a money issue, i.e. the businesses, in Buckhead and Atlanta and everywhere else, now they're like, hold on now, maybe they got something to say now.
Right. Maybe they meant what they said, huh?
Hey, I think it was a necessary evil.
As far as like coming from, your background, was there anything in that moment when George Floyd was on the ground? Was there anything or any precaution that could have been taken, man, in that particular situation, given your training or whatnot?
Really, man, like when I look at that, and this is gonna sound bad, man, when I say this, but I'm probably the last person to know anything about what's going on in the world. I have to, hear from my wife.
Right.
My wife, she stays current on these events. And so maybe it was, I don't know, it must have been like a few days later,
mm-hmm.
Until I really knew what was going on.
Right.
And then I watched the video because you can't get away from video nowadays.
No, you
And
can't.
so when I looked at it, but when I looked at it, I was like, okay, when I looked at the video, that 8 minutes and 47 seconds, I was thinking to myself, this dude really don't give a damn. He just really, just stepping in his neck. And so I was looking at the other officer.
Right.
And see, I can see things that a lot of other people can't see.
Mm-hmm.
I knew right off that the other few officers that was in the picture were rookies. I can just tell, they just exude newness on them. And they kind of like, just, following, what the lead officer does, a senior officer.
Wow.
So I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, he really don't care now. This comes from me being a fighter.
Right.
Okay. George Floyd was pretty much a tall dude.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from a fighter's perspective, George would have been easy to take down.
Right.
The taller they are, the clumsier they are. And it's a certain thing with people, although there may not be a lot of respect for law enforcement officers, they will do what you say.
Right, true.
I've told people, and this sounds bad to say, I've told people, lay face down on the engine, in the 90-degree, weather, on camera roll, and I say, hey man, lay your stomach down on the engine, don't get up. I'm gonna pull this gun out your back pocket while you got handcuffs on.
Wow.
Their face will be peeled to the hood, just scorching. They will not move.
Wow.
So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, that man wouldn't have got up if he told him to lay on that ground, just stay there.
True.
He wouldn't have got back up. And so that's what was going through my mind. Like, you really had to do that. And Anthony, honestly enough, that's actually taught in the police department. Not in the neck, but like in the shoulder blade.
Wow.
In the back. That's actually taught. It's not supposed to be in the neck though, but that's actually taught.
Right.
And so for him to do that, it was just another day in the park for him.
Right.
Knee, and another black man's leg. 8 minutes and 47 seconds. Come on, man.
That's crazy, man. And it's definitely crazy coming from you, man, with your experience, dude. Like, now my wife, she had a few questions that I want to, and these are really good questions. And I really didn't have to write down any questions because the questions she had was so good. So, and ain't that right, babe? There she go. All right. So she said, how does an officer personal values influence the way he or she enforces the law?
Now, that definitely depends on the individual. That is a personal question.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay, well, I can only take myself for example. So, now with me, I value God, I value my family, I value life.
Right.
So, let me give you an example, okay? Now, let's say that, I'm running low on funds in my house, okay? Mortgages due, we're about to be evicted or whatever the case may be, This hasn't happened, I'm just giving you an example.
Right, right.
So, I find local dope boy,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I know at any time he's probably got about $6,000 or $7,000 on him somewhere.
Right.
Okay? Easy fix, right? Let me just rob from the dope boy. He's already committing the crime, so hey, he's out here selling drugs, he's doing what he's not supposed to be doing. He's not gonna tell on me, whatever. This $6,000 or $7,000 will come in handy.
Right.
I can pay my mortgage, he won't get evicted.
Wow.
This, that, and the third. But guess what?
What's that?
Because I value God, I'm gonna think twice, like,
wow.
Well, I am sinning and stealing from this man. That's what's gonna be in the back of your head,
Right.
I ain't never gonna get my blessing if I do this.
Right.
That's one thing that you always gonna think about, especially if you're a God-fearing man. You be thinking about, this will come back on me. If nothing else, you're gonna think of karma. Even if you're not a God-fearing man, but me being God-fearing, I'm gonna think, well, I'm not gonna get my blessing for this,
Right.
And so I'm gonna put a curse on my family, things like that. As far as family, now, believe it or not, it was two white officers. You could tell they've been around black folks all their life. One name was K.R. Wright, and the other name was Stephen Overbaugh.
Right.
Now, They actually lived in the soccer cab area. They took me under their wings when I was a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing they said was they had families too. It's like at the end of the day, we all want to go home to our families. I was like, you right, I want to go home to my family too.
Right.
I want to go home to
Definitely.
And then he said, look at everything you learned in the camp. It was just like some training day, man, straight out the movie. And I was like, oh, okay, the instructor said they was going to say that.
Right.
Well, let me see what these $1,000,000 cops going to say. He said, everybody doesn't need to go to jail. I was like, everybody don't need to go to jail. What do you mean by that? And there's a certain way to police, man, and you can tell that they police with, ethics, morals, values.
Right.
So, I mean, I know it's a long answer, though, but, I mean, if you have problems at home,
mm-hmm.
You're going through a divorce, you don't care about your wife, you're stepping out, just, doing, just ungodly stuff, let's just put it like that.
Right.
You don't care,
wow.
About staying late at work. Matter of fact, you don't even want to go home, because, it's a nagging wife at home, boy issues, an argument, whatever, it ain't a happy place to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care if you stay extra just to mess with this man on the street. You don't care that you're going back to the precinct, staying another 2 hours, doing paperwork, stuff like that. To the person who want to get home like me, honestly, man, I'm going to put my blinders on. I ain't going to see nothing. I'm going back to the precinct. I don't see shit, no damn thing, so I'm going straight to the precinct.
Hey, man.
I ain't even going to answer the next call.
I'm glad you're keeping it real.
Things like that, man. So,
right.
If you value home life, you really don't want to mess up nobody else's home life either.
Man, that's
some humbug and some, some minor stuff. I mean, I can spend hours on this question, but
that's a message, man.
There's your answer right there, though.
That's a message. I got chills.
Home,
yeah.
Your police a little bit better.
Wow. I'm gonna come back to the morals. I just want to ask this other question that my wife had. She said, what actions do you think a supervisor should take when they find out that subordinates is abusing their power of enforcing the laws?
Abusing their power. Okay. Now, I can only speak to the time when I came in.
Mm-hmm. So,
the beginning of my career, the older heads was telling me, policing is starting to change.
Right.
They were saying that it used to be this was right at the time where we had cameras and we had videos on the phone, but it wasn't no just prominent, dominant cell phone out there like iPhone and Samsung. Like it wasn't no one of the other. Some people maybe had Nokia, Altel, some Asian brand phone.
Right.
So videos and pictures still wasn't that good. I mean, we wasn't HD stuff.
Makes sense.
So.
That was back there.
Yeah. So it was pretty much the public words against ours. The police department was gonna have each other backs, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
If a sergeant saw, a subordinate slam somebody to the ground, if he had probable cause for arresting, okay, well, all right, take him to jail, make sure you do the paperwork, make sure you document how, he slipped and fell. Okay, that's how, it was.
Right.
Now, that started to change. And I remember like it was yesterday when it started to change. More social media started to come out.
Right.
People, were being a lot more, I say word was traveling a lot faster. So
makes sense.
There was 2 officers we both was in South Precinct area now. Supervisor took the word of a man who had got arrested, but see, it was, how can I put this? If you were notorious in the precinct,
mm-hmm.
if you were one of the 10% that we dealt with 90% of the time,
right,
it was almost anything goes, okay, lock him up, whatever. But they violated this man's civil rights, and the supervisor knew about it, because the guy who was being arrested actually told him about it, and the supervisor actually listened.
Mm.
So if you hit somebody in handcuffs, that's a violation of their civil rights. So all within an hour, I kid you not, within an hour, I went back to the precinct. I need to drop paperwork off. So I see, and this guy, he was, what was the name of the gang? Savage the Block. That was the name of the gang.
Okay.
Savage the Block. And so he was one like the, one of the leaders of it, long story short, he was a gang member.
Mm-hmm.
And so the sergeant told the subordinates, hey, take him around back, serve him up real good, because the guy in handcuffs spit on one of the officers.
Wow.
So, they issued the code red. So they took him around back, they showed him a little love, as we used to call it. They showed us some love in the back of South Precinct, behind the shed.
Wow.
Now, that supervisor came from the cowboy days of, you don't disrespect the law enforcement, we will show you some love before we take you to jail.
Right.
Another supervisor handled it differently. Okay? The guy who's been arrested complained. The lieutenant listened. He notified the GBI notified the FBI.
Right.
Shortly after that, 2 officers was arrested. Now, so nowadays, I will tell you, I don't think there's no love in the police department right now. I think it's every man for himself, because at the end of the day, you're not going to go to jail for somebody else. And they make an example of a lot of these officers now. I mean, they really are. They ain't playing no games. We do this minor. They're making examples out of them. So if you're a supervisor right now, you're a superior right now, oh yeah, you definitely go do the right thing and more, right now. So how they should handle it, I mean, you got to look at it from both sides still, like you normally would. Right. I mean, but you got to go above and beyond. Now you got to, make sure the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be a supervisor right now, because pretty much the citizens probably gonna have an upper hand right now. Makes sense. To be honest, I mean, which it always should have been like that. Right. Except for, I mean, you get crazy allegations every now and then. Stuff that's just unfound. But right now, they really should. I mean, they really should report. The officer. I mean, because nobody wants to work with dirty cops. I mean, cops will tell you that. Nobody wants to work with dirty cops, because now, you putting their family at risk. Right. Right. Now that criminal gonna be living in your house because he's suing you. And like we used to always say, you gonna be down at the Richard B. Russell building downtown. Right. Being sued, for something that's stupid, for something you should have spoke up about. Man. But, that's just my opinion. I think, supervisors should be talking. They should be singing right now. Yeah, especially around this time, man, because everything, we're a little vulnerable right now. So I can see how even the slightest mishap can go so far, man, especially with social media and all that. So I definitely can see that. That's definitely true. But let me ask you this, man, and this is a question I was going to ask anyway, but my wife, she wrote it down here, and we've been hearing this. What do you think about defunding the police? Well, what do you think about that? Have you been hearing about that? I have not heard about it, but elaborate on it a little bit. What do you mean by
Babe, you want to come in and elaborate? She giving me something. Give me 1 second. Let me read this. Okay. The solution to police brutality and racial inequality in policing is simple. Supporters say just defund police, meaning like, okay, just keep reading. It's as straightforward as it sounds. Instead of funding a police department, a sizable chunk of the city budget is invested into communities, especially marginalized ones where much of the policing occurs. So is it pretty much more of the funds going to the community rather than the police department?
Okay. Far as the funding, I want to make sure I understood the question, because I wasn't clear if you meant, if they meant, salary wise, or, okay, so they're speaking on the budget perspective.
Salary, all that, yep.
Oh, okay, salary too. As far as the salaries, okay, well, I'll make that a 2-part answer. As far as the salary, I think that's the worst thing, you can do. Okay. And I don't know if that came from, politician or reporter, saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna let you into my personal life a little bit. Okay, we gonna get personal. We all family here.
Yeah, cool. Right? Cool, let's do it.
Now, when I first came into the police department, every 2 weeks I brought home $817. That was in the academy.
Right.
Graduated academy, I was making, I want to say it was like around $1,035 every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, when I left the police department, I think it was it's like 12.95. It was $12.95. Okay.
Wow.
My wife reminded me $12.95 every 2 weeks. Now, check this out, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I left the police department, okay,
right,
and this isn't bragging, this just put things in perspective to let people know where I'm coming from. I had been nominated to Georgia's 300. Okay.
Okay.
That means I was the top 300. Of all officers in the state of Georgia. There were over 26,000 police officers in Georgia.
Wow.
I was in the top 300. That was the nomination.
That's big.
I was a master marksman on the 3rd level.
Oh.
It got to the point where I was trying to resign, and their attempts to keep me there was to tell me to train the academy classes down at the gun range. Didn't want to do that. I had other ambitions. I know if I did that, I would have been there for the rest of my life. Didn't want to do it. Couldn't chance it.
Right.
Okay? I had thousands of hours in training, many accolades, many attaboys. I've even dealt with the active shooting in a school that actually ended up on CNN, in the Discovery Academy on 2nd Avenue. But that's a different story, different topic for another day.
Right.
So with all those accomplishments and accolades, I still only ended up with $12.95, and that was the last year that I left.
Wow.
Never took a single dime off anybody, okay? I never did that. What that forced me to do was work these part-time jobs.
Makes sense.
And put myself in more danger.
Right.
I put myself at risk, one, from a health perspective, because I was almost working around the clock.
Okay.
Almost 24 hours a day sometimes. So since I couldn't get it from the police department, I had to work, odd jobs like clubs, grocery stores, small events, things like that.
Right.
Other officers, it's economics 101. I can be long-winded about this, but it's economics 101. If you don't pay the police department, they go corrupt.
Right.
They're corrupt as it is. Try taking money from them and we'll see. Now, what put things in perspective for me is when my lieutenant told me, because you have these talks every election. Not to get into politics, but every politician normally uses public servants to get into office.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pay the police department. We're going to have better off fire departments. We're going to have better sanitation.
Right.
We need to pay our teachers. That's the common thing to say, but when they get in the office, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Now, with the raises that you see me get in there, those actually weren't raises. From the 800 to the 1295, that I had within that 10-year span. Those weren't raises.
Right.
That was just me, being married, having kids, adjusting my taxes, and taking less taxes out, things like that.
Right. Yeah.
Now, look, short story, I trained the officer. She didn't have those ethics, morals, and values that we was talking about.
Oh,
and
wow.
Of course, she was broke like any other officer.
Oh, man,
and
yeah.
So,
yeah.
She would go around.
I see where you're going.
She would rob, the local dope boys.
Oh, man.
She would do that. Thousands of dollars at a time. She's like, well, I can't get it there. Can't work part-time jobs. Those are drying up. So she became corrupt. She got crooked.
Wow.
So I think that's the worst thing you can do, to be honest. I'm not saying pay them 6 figures or anything, like that. I mean, but it's a dangerous job, man. It's an easy job,
right?
But it's dangerous. And I know that sounds crazy to say. It's easy, but it's dangerous. So now, as far as the funding, when I think of funding, I think of things like for example, I was in a specialized unit task force.
Mm-hmm.
We had to get approved funding to have a task force. That was like a community policing kind of thing.
Right.
We wanted to start a bike unit. We needed funds for that. So that had to be approved. So we had to buy each officer like $900, bicycles and stuff like that.
Right.
So that, when you say funding, that's what comes, to my mind. Funding.
That might be.
That provides, like boots and which they never bought me one single pair of boots. They never did that.
Right.
When I think of funding, I think of police cars and new uniforms, better gear, and believe it or not, it sounds crazy, man, but at one point, this was during one of the recessions, we weren't even allowed to go to the gun range to improve on our skills because they couldn't afford, they didn't have enough funding for the ammunition.
Now that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Y'all cops out here can't shoot out here, man.
Exactly. I mean,
wow.
even going to, there's a place in Forsyth called Gypstick for short.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's called Gypstick, so I don't even know that. It's called Georgia Police Standards Training something. But even to go there and take classes like survival Spanish classes,
right,
gang classes, drug recognition classes, just anything like that requires funding.
Right.
So for them to say take away funding, now you're saying you're going to take away what they need, to be better police. Now, I've been saying it for years since I've been there. We need to spend money on diversification. We need to spend money on classes to teach these officers about different cultures.
Right.
That takes funding. That you have to have somebody in there to teach these officers, what the Indians do, what the Jamaicans do, what black people do.
Right.
As far as their personalities, and
that makes sense.
Things like that takes funding. So
that's smart.
Like I said, I don't agree with that. I hate what's going on right now as far as the funding for that. Now and then, do they need Bluetooth to ride around in their car with? No. They need the baddest Bose speaker within the police car. No, they don't need stuff like that.
Right.
Do they need, a 6-foot hand cannon that has a laser scope and night vision and goes underwater and, has a net that shoots out of it? No, you don't need that stuff. Funding for that is unnecessary.
That makes sense, man. Everything you just said just made complete sense. And I am in awe, bro, to be real with you. Like, I didn't even think about the funding, like not having enough funding for like gun range, and then you made a good point about diversification and stuff like that, man. I didn't even think of that.
My last couple of years there, we got the Caprice, the Chevy Caprice. We went from the Ford Crown Vic to the Chevy Caprice. That took funding,
right,
to buy $40,000 cars,
right.
And you're talking about a whole fleet for a whole police department. That right there took funding because what happened was Ford stopped making the Crown Vics.
Okay.
So we didn't even have the maintenance shop to even keep up with the repairs of those cars. So
wow,
a lot of cars was going down and stuff like that. And the one I had, that thing was so raggedy, man. If you can get your car up to 85 miles an hour, you was getting away from me in my car. I would blow the engine, and that's happened to me twice. Matter of fact, a kid got away from me like that, teenager. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Man.
But you know what though? Now that I think about it, man. So when we started this whole ICP unit, interactive community policing, you probably see them a lot more now.
Right.
But they bought this huge RV. I mean, it had everything in there. It had a bed in there, a kitchen, and they said, this is gonna be the mobile precinct.
Wow.
That thing must have cost about $330,000 then.
Wow.
And that was well over 10 years ago when they paid that kind of money. Yeah, that's funny. Stuff like that you don't need, because all they did was drive it every now and then, parked it somewhere. People came and they gave a little speech, about, crime in your neighborhood, things like that. See, that type of funding is unnecessary, man. You don't need stuff like that.
So do you think we just need, I want to say, financial savvy individual who can just allocate funds, like who can properly allocate funds in the police department? Because
that would help.
Because I'm thinking, like, who's coming up with decisions?
That's a good question. I ain't gonna sit here and say, oh, it's the CEO, it's the mayor. Every city has a budget though. What they decide to spend it on. How they make the decision, man, I have no idea.
That's what I need.
I have no idea.
But instead of I understand his point of view, where he's coming from, what he said.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand this whole movement of police, because like they said, instead of funding the police department, a sizable chunk of a city's budget is invested in communities, especially those marginalized ones, which, where much of the policing occurs. Like, some of these impoverished areas need some of that money so that it will go into the community to build better things, like maybe rec centers, give the young people more things to look forward to instead of being out in the streets and causing, doing things that will probably jeopardize their future, which will eventually cause the police to get involved with them.
Right.
Because if these things are minimized, and these situations are minimized, then we have less of these problems. We have less of these, situations that we are going through right now. And I'm not saying that that's the only way that will stop these situations from happening. It still goes back to values and morals, like we talked about.
Right.
However, I still like I see the idea of defunding the police.
Defunding me
so much resources and finances into them.
So I see that as, I'm looking at it both angles. I think that, like I say, there should be a reallocation. If they can cut budgets here, like what Deron was talking about on the unnecessary stuff, and invest it in the community, that would be great. If they consider that defunding. But
see, it also, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Okay. It also depends on where it comes from. Because I'm gonna give you a good example, because what Christine is talking about has actually happened. And when it happened to me, I was pissed off, to be honest, man. So what they did was, and we got audited by the FBI.
Right.
So there was a CEO in office at the time, Burrow Ellis. If you're from Montgomery, you can probably remember. So what happened was, they said, let's use that budget, like pretty much what Christina talking about. Let's use that budget, and they built the water park on Browns Mill Road. That's where the money came from. It actually came out of our retirement pension fund.
Wow.
And so the FBI found out about it, was like, hey, where did the money go? Because it's supposed to be a certain amount of money in the pension pot. Right. And so when the FBI audited us, they say, hey, where'd the money go? And the CEO said, oh, well, we built new roads, which they did. It wasn't roads, it was sidewalks, like for bikers or something like that. They built the water park. Now, I don't know if you remember this too, but construction had begun up there at Stonecrest Mall.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a huge theme park and water park from our pension. And so the FBI said, you know what? We don't care what y'all doing is illegal anyway. You all need to put the money back in there. And the reason why I was pissed off about it, because they made us contribute more money to our pension, and there was more money out of my check. That we had to put toward the pension when they did take it. So, like I said, I don't know who allocates it. I don't know who decides that. But that CEO was under, investigation for years, and that's a different story. But like I said, but yeah, it depends on where it comes from. and what you use it on. I mean, because I can think of 100 different things we can use it on, you know, and then again, I can think of 100 different things, you know, I could do, you know, with my paycheck and my family.
Right. That makes sense. And see, that's the thing. Like, if you take away funds, would cops be more corrupt? You see what I'm saying?
Well, and see, you know something else, Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my wife, I mean, we talk about this every now and then. My wife brought up a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, now see, I left because our lieutenant told me this. He said, y'all stop talking about raises. It's not going to happen.
Mm.
We didn't even get the cost of living raise. He said, the reason why y'all never going to get a raise is because they know that they can replace you. You're nothing but a number. They can replace you with another person who always wanted to be a cop ever since they was 8 years old, and that was their lifelong dream.
Wow.
Okay? That'll come in and make this $28,000 starting off at the academy, you know, that you all will make because it's a lifelong dream. Now, I'm going to get back on the topic, but I left a guy left us, okay, working where I'm at, okay, making 6-figure salary now.
Mm-hmm.
He left because he wanted to pursue a dream of policing. I tried to talk him out of it. I said, well, I wouldn't go right now. You know, you're going to take a $70,000 pay cut.
Wow.
You know, this, that, and other. He said, hey, man, I got to do it. It's been my dream, you know. Okay, and then I said, hey, man, you know, I love being a cop too, but dreams, you know, it don't pay the bills unless, you know, you're successful in it. I mean, and I don't know too many rich cops. I really don't.
Right.
You know, so he put it in perspective for me, you know, like that. Now, what my wife was saying was the salaries would be okay. Everybody's household is different, but when you go everywhere, first thing people ask you is, hey, are you military? No, sorry, I'm just a local cop. Well, that should count for something. Okay, well, it's time to buy a house here. Hey,
Right.
do you have a GI grant? No, I'm just a local cop. Well, that should count for something. You know, you know, help them out a little bit on that too. You know, so if police, if they got the same person, somebody who was serving in the military, I mean, because this, you know, this is home front. You know, I mean, you have to protect this first, you know, before you can protect, you know, overseas, and you know what they do.
Right.
You know, is very important. You know, but, you know, this is the community, you know, so if an officer knew that, hey, you know, if I went into my local Home Depot to buy something from my house and I got a discount being a cop, you know, that'd be great. That'd help offset, you know, this. Or if I go into the Walmart buying groceries, hey, 10% off for, you know, police officer or law enforcement. Hey, you know, that'll help on the bills, you know, on the grocery bill, you know, things like that, you know. So,
Right.
you know, I thought that was a good point, you know, maybe you could help out like that. You know, there are programs out there, you know, that help, you know, a police officer and a teacher and public service, you know, get into a house, but it's not like, you know, what is it called, the GI Bill? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay, I think it's what it was or whatever, but I'm not even sure they even have that anymore, but, you know, it allows you to get into a house with 0% down.
Oh, that makes,
you know, just zero down. Yeah.
right.
You know, but you know, things like that though. I mean, if you're gonna defund the police department or take away salaries,
Get
then,
more
you know,
programs.
You need to be,
That makes
gotta
sense.
help out somewhere else.
That makes sense. So, who came up with this defunding? Who?
It's been talked about after, like.
Do they have any experience in office, like police department?
No, well, I heard it come through the show.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing. I don't want to put our community at risk of corrupt cops because of less pay, because that's something we can't control. You know what I mean? Because like Deron said, if the cops have no morals and at least the pay is keeping him like sane, you gonna take that away from him? What? Then what for our community? You know? So, man, listen. Black Lives Matter. Yeah, we got to get more perspective on that. You know, I'm all for the cause, definitely. But we just really got to think, man. But Mr. Fulton, Officer, hey, that was the first thing I called you when I came to your door. You remember that, Officer Fulton? I told them the story, man, about how we met, and I'm just flabbergasted by your character and just being a man of morals. We do need more officers like you. Maybe you could be a consultant. I mean,
you know something, no, man. They don't, honestly, man, they don't make them like me no more, man. I'm one of a kind of nigga. They don't make them like me no more.
Babe, I told them that he's a former officer. I'm saying, like, officers like him, like how he used to be. He's still the same guy. But yeah, man, we hold you up long enough, man. It's been an hour, bro. Like, first of all, do you have any last words you want to say to the people that's listening? Anything that you're feeling you want to talk about?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I do actually, man. I'm actually tell you a short story, man.
Okay.
And this is where I saw the change starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, man, and where can I start with this? Okay. There was a precinct in Dunwoody. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the precinct in Dunwoody was the predominantly white area. Okay?
Right.
And just be straightforward. That was predominantly white area, and I think maybe the high class Indians that was probably the next in population.
Okay.
But anyway, so I want to say this was during the recession again, where they decided to take away the Dunwoody Police Department. It actually wasn't called Dunwoody then. That's when Dunwoody decided to incorporate and become a city.
Okay.
That was actually North Precinct. It was a part of Dekalb County.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was the officers from North Precinct came to my precinct, South Precinct, predominantly black neighborhood. Now, for some reason, I don't know how it happened like that, it was mainly white officers in the white areas.
Wow.
In North Precinct, that Dunwoody area. So they spread them out throughout the precincts. Well, we got a few white officers in my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm policing the area, Camel Road, Glenwood, Boulder Crest, Gresham Road, that area.
Right.
Now, that takes a certain type of police to police that area.
Yeah, dude.
You
do.
Now, certainly not a timid one. Anyway, so I go to this burglary call now. And now, sure enough, you'll become desensitized to a lot of people's problems because you'll go to the next call and it'll be the same thing over again.
Right.
But you don't want to show that, because somebody's significant event is their significant event. It's important to them at the time.
Right.
So I pull up, black female, she comes up, first thing out of her mouth is, "Where the fuck y'all been?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Ma'am, I just got the call. This is how it happened. It goes to, you call 911. The radio operator gets it, goes to a call taker, puts it in the computer, so I'm giving her the process. I don't care about all this. Y'all should have got here soon." I said, okay, so I'm the only one there on scene. These guys burglarized her house, meaning they went in there and took some items out of her house and ran. She was able to see a few of the guys. And so, I'm doing the whole, cop thing and everything. Okay, man, what do they look like? Give me the description. And so, as she's giving me the description, and, she's pretty much venting. And so, on a burglary call, it requires 2 officers, but not, blue lights flashing, because if it already happened, it's not a high priority call.
Right.
So, the white officer, I seen him in roll call, but I don't know the guy. I seen him in roll call for a couple of days, but I haven't officially met him. He's one of the officers from North Precinct.
Mm.
So he pulls up behind me. He stands behind me. He says, "What's up?" I said, "What's up, man?" And so I'm still listening to the lady. I said, "Ma'am, what did he look like?" She said, "Y'all out here, y'all ain't doing nothing. They don't stole my shit." She going on. No, she just cussing and fussing.
Right.
Or whatever. And I said, "Okay, what does he look like?" She said, "It was some niggas. It was some niggas. Some niggas took my stuff." I said, okay, I got you, ma'am." And so he turns to me, the officer, and he says, "Do you think we should arrest her?" And so I looked at him. I said, "Man, for what?" Then he said, "Because she shouldn't be out here being disorderly, cussing in front of all these children. I said, man, she pissed off. What you mean? She mad. She ain't gonna do nothing. She just mad,
Right.
They took her stuff and she wasn't mad at me. She didn't know me, She didn't know me. She never seen me before. I ain't never seen her before. She just big and she pissed off. She mad about the situation.
Right.
But me being black and me growing up, in the area that I policed in, Southwest Atlanta, up to, Latonia, all that area, I've lived in that area my whole life. So, I know the people, I know black people.
Right. True.
So what I'm saying is the only way this is going to change, and they can talk about it all they want to, they need to actually do it. Now, I scream this. This needs to be implemented in academy classes. I've told them an Indian woman can dial 911. Okay? She can have an issue in her house. You come to her house, she will not let you in that house unless her husband is there.
Oh,
why?
wow.
Because that's part of their culture.
Right.
Okay? An Asian man, meaning Chinese descent, you go to his house, you knock on the door. Hey, sir, what's the problem? Hey, man, they broke in my house, they took this and that. Well, guess what? To respect his home, you need to remove your boots.
Right.
Okay? That's a part of their culture. Okay? Just because you're a cop don't mean that you above, respecting this man. Okay?
Right.
Same thing with Jamaicans, okay? No disrespect to the Jamaicans. They loud. They talk aggressive.
Right.
Okay? This is just part of their culture. Don't mean they go do nothing to you.
Right.
It's just how they talk.
Right.
You gotta know stuff like this.
True.
Or else you're gonna be scared every time you come in contact with somebody who's not your color.
Yep.
An African man, okay? I've had this happen before. An African man is so dominant in his house that he feels as though if you come up in his house and disrespect him in front of his wife, your badge doesn't matter. He feels like he can just take his fist and just Donkey Kong his wife in front of you.
Wow.
And feels as though there shouldn't be anything you should be able to do about it, because essentially that is his property. That is his wife. He's the king of that house. But you got to know this. Now, see, I just named all these different backgrounds, all these different cultures.
Right.
You got to know stuff like this before you try to police people.
True.
And 90% of the time, a police officer isn't going to police where they live.
Wow.
The first thing they're going to say, oh, nah, man, I got to get out of here. Oh, no, I got to get out of here. Most of the officers that I work with, they didn't live there, man.
Wow.
They probably had never been there before. Okay? I'll give you another example. There was another officer, who I actually got subpoenaed for this guy. He shot an unarmed, butt-naked man who suffered from PTSD.
Wow.
He killed the man.
Ooh.
Okay?
Wow.
Of course, they're gonna ask me, as the former trainer, hey, did you teach this guy, to kill an unarmed guy? Come on, y'all, don't be stupid. I ain't teach this man to kill no unarmed black man who's butt naked.
Right.
Okay? And then he fabricated this lie, about what happened. Now, that white officer was just scared, and I can tell he was scary when I had him on training. I recommend that guy for termination.
Wow.
Okay? I knew he was scared, and I'm going to tell you what happened. Police departments, when there's a white person in charge, that's the chief, for some strange reason, all the higher-ups come white. There's a black person who's the chief, the head of the police department. All the blacks get empowered. Well, at that time, there was a white guy in office.
Oh.
He was the chief. So that white officer, he spent maybe 3 weeks on the road, went to the chief office, became like his flunky or something like that. And so when the regime changed, the black man got in office again. Now, all the white guys went back to the street. Well, guess
Back
what?
to the streets,
They
yeah.
didn't have no time on the street
Oh,
to
man.
learn these people.
Wow.
That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
In turn, I don't been in countless foot chase. I don't been in countless fights because I needed to fight.
Right.
Now me, I guess this is my pride or my ego or maybe my training and my knowledge or maybe even my confidence. But I'm confident that I can whoop about 79% of the people out there
Right.
with just my fist.
Right.
Okay? No gun, no nothing. Okay? I got shot trying to bring fists to a gunfight.
Wow.
Okay? And I still stayed in the police department 5 years after that.
Man.
And I didn't even kill the guy who shot me.
Wow. See? Man.
I should have. I should have. I would have been justified.
Right.
There's been so many times where I could have killed somebody and been completely justified But if you don't have to, you don't have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, but this is why I stand with it, man. You know, it sounds cute. You know, let's get them more training. You know, let's work on diversification. You know, yeah, it sounds cute. I've been talking about that for years. You know, you gotta actually do it.
Yeah.
You know, make them real. You know, what they police say. They say, "Oh, that's dangerous." It ain't dangerous if you're going out here doing what you're supposed to do.
True.
If you ain't messing with people.
Right.
You know, like
right.
you know, you just constantly harassing people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if we think you from the Klan, then oh yeah, you know, it may be some people that can reach out and touch you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Man, bruh, I got chills over here, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The camera cut off, but I'm gonna put this whole podcast out. It's gonna be everywhere. I appreciate you again, Deron Fulton. How can people get in touch with you, man? Like, I know social media, email, like if they got questions, because you dropped a lot of gems, man, and you definitely opened my eyes. So like, people got questions, how can they get in contact with you, or you just want them to call me?
Hey man, I must came from the Stone Age, man, because you know I'm not even big on social media, man.
It's all good.
Deron.Fulton, simple enough, at yahoo.com.
Deron.Fulton at yahoo.com. Got you, man.
See how complicated that was, man?
Man, that was so easy. But again, man, Deron, I appreciate you, man, for having this conversation, dude. Like, you don't know how much, like, just hearing your perspective and your knowledge and your input, man, like, you don't know how much that means, because I think a lot of people, especially in our community, need to hear what you had to say, especially about this defunding the police. It sounds good when we in a heat of a moment here, but you know, does it actually make sense? And you just brought a lot of, even talking about morals, man. I'm gonna give a little piece on that on my video shortly. But I really appreciate you, bro. And again, I'm not gonna hold you up, man. And I'm putting this whole hour out. We might get some videos, but this whole hour is definitely going on the podcast, man. I appreciate your info. All right.
What, man? What's up?
Woo, man, what a show. What a show. Deron Fulton, he gave us a lot of knowledge, a lot of game, a lot of perspective as to his view as a cop or former police officer. And I really appreciate that and enjoyed that. One thing he spoke about is morals. The question is, how do we handle cops with no morals? Or the higher-ups, how are you hiring people in this job field, in this field with no morals? He also mentioned a lot of programs that we should be able to offer, which makes sense to me. Programs for diversification and things of that nature. So wonderful show. Make sure you reach out to him and ask him questions. Deron.Fulton at yahoo.com. And guess what? You can also reach me at setting_DA_tone. That's setting_DA_tone, TONE. And also just email me. You can email me at adrobinson.inspire@gmail.com, or just catch me on Facebook at ADRobinson. And check out the podcast, man. This is the vlog, but check out the podcast. We're on all platforms. I know we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but check out Raising the Bar with A.D. Robinson. And that's all I have for the night. Today, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you soon. Have a good day. All right.
We came far, but we ain't far. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar. We came far, but we ain't far. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar. We came far, but we ain't far. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar. Came far, but we ain't far. Flame scars, we gon' raise the bar.